I bet. So go ahead and introduce yourself. Yes, first name, last name, rank, MOS,
Damn,
where you
Rick,
from.
dog, I finished as the PFC, bro.
You got as a PFC?
Bro, yeah, I got demoted 3 times, dog.
All right. So is Steve? What's your last name?
Steve Jaimes
Steve Jaimes. You were a PFC.
finished as a PFC, technically, yeah. On my plaque, it said Lance Corps Private First Class. It's a fucking made up rank that my sergeant did. All right, cool. I'll hit it. I'll hit it.
All right, but so yeah, just start off like where you're from and just tell me about like
Yeah.
your childhood and yeah. So you're from Chicago. Were you born and raised in Chicago?
hmm Yeah. So you want me
Yeah,
to hit it? Just
yeah. Just go off.
all right, sorry, man. My name's Steve Jaimes. I'm from Chicago, born and raised. I finished as a private first class, third award, and I was that good or
Oh yeah, that's fine.
was that good? And then I'm supposed to transition
Yeah,
into the childhood.
yeah. I mean, just keep
Sorry,
going. Freaking. So you're born and raised in Chicago,
born and raised in Chicago.
or on?
Yeah, I grew up in Humboldt Park by North Avenue in Pulaski. I was there until like 2018, and 2018 I moved over to like the Galewood neighborhood. It's more by like North Avenue, Harlem, for anybody who knows cross streets, But it was pretty crazy. Like growing up, I mean, there was a lot of shit going on everywhere. Lots of gangs compared to like over here, and you know, I don't know. Oh damn! I get fucking nervous and shit. Hold on. Let me. I don't know why I'm fucking nervous. That is
I'm gonna choke on the beer. So how was
yeah. Help me
so born
out.
and raised in Chicago? How were you in high school? Were you like a good student in high school?
Yeah, let me
Or
start
you?
this over. I'm so sorry, bro.
Oh no!
Now I got it. I got what you're trying to get at right now. All right, cool. I got it. I got it.
All right.
All right, bet. All right. My name's Steve Jaimes. I'm from Chicago. I was born and raised there in the Humboldt Park neighborhood. Growing up, I would always hang around my older brother, my older sister. Definitely stuck around the older crowd. It was my environment, and I I'm appreciative of it, but I'm not because it did bring me a lot of problems. I used to get real suspended multiple times, like during my middle school uh, at Brentano in Logan Square. I got kicked out in fifth grade. Went
You got
to
kicked out of the school
I got kicked out of school in
for
fifth grade.
what?
I don't necessarily remember for what. I just know I had too many suspensions, and so my brother and my sister lived in that neighborhood before I was born, so they graduated from that school. But while at that school, my family moved to a new neighborhood, so technically it wasn't my neighborhood school, and they were just giving me a chance to be there.
Yeah.
But since I was giving them so many problems, they were like, "Yeah, this guy needs to go to his neighborhood school. It doesn't matter if his brother and sister graduated from here. Like he's causing too much of a ruckus. Like he got to go. And so
Yeah.
they pretty much gave like the transfer papers to my mom without like her asking for the transfer. Like she was like, nah, like your mijo, and he got to go.
Yeah.
And I mean, I didn't really understand. I was just fifth grade. I was just like,
So you
damn.
just do a
Like,
little like
yeah, I was just a little, just a fucking knucklehead to be honest. I mean, I have a lot of my brother's friends would tell me that back then I would like gangbang at them, or I don't even know
yeah
what the fuck. I don't even know if I did that or not. They
yeah
said I would always try to fight, but I don't know why. Considering that probably was like probably like 4 feet, maybe even shorter at the time. I'm not
yeah
that tall now.
yeah.
So, but I went to my new neighborhood school, and I mean, I still kept up with my grades. I had good grades, but sixth grade, I remember I got suspended. I hit a teacher by accident. Like he was kind of grabbing me. I
Yeah.
kind of like, he
Oh,
was,
okay.
but they said, oh, they tried to hit me with you can get charged with battery or blah blah.
Yeah.
In the seventh grade, got suspended for gang affiliation. Fucking around with the homies, thinking that we were cool, whatever. And then I guess they suspended us for gang affiliation, and it was pretty funny because I got straight A's all that year, and then I got suspended for gang affiliation that same year. So it was like it doesn't really correlate.
And that you said that was eighth grade,
That was my 7th grade.
seventh grade.
Yeah.
What was the gang they said you were like affiliated with?
No, I remember that the homies were fucking around with another homie that actually gang banged, and they were like throwing random gang signs, right? And I remember they threw the Latin Eagles, right? And they were like, oh, like this, and they saw us just gang banging. The teacher saw us like throwing gang signs, and that's what she ended up like reporting, you know. And so,
Okay. Oh, okay.
and the
Okay.
fact that we were doing it with somebody that actually gang banged is
Okay.
like, all right, well
All right.
now
Yeah.
you guys
Yeah.
all knew like y'all fucking gang bang. So
Yeah.
it's like, por pendejos, you know.
Yeah.
That's our fault, you know.
Word.
But never was really in it. You know what I'm saying? Never
Okay.
was in it. I'm grateful for that. I never got into it. You know what I'm saying? But you know, you still saw it. You were still amongst it. You still had
Yeah.
homies.
What?
You know?
What? So that was you said Latin Eagles?
Yeah, like
Was that like the main one that was like in your
nah, it was a
neighborhood?
random
Oh,
ass game. It wasn't
okay.
even close to where
Oh
we
yeah.
lived at.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's just kids being kids, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
I ended up graduating though, and I went to the #1 high school in Chicago. So through all this, like even the suspensions, all that, the academics stayed there, you know.
Okay.
And I got accepted to the #1 high school in the state of Illinois, Northside College Prep. Y'all can fact check me. All right, y'all can fact check me. Northside College
Yeah.
Prep in Northside College Prep in Chicago. You can fact check me. It goes up and down as a #1 high school or #1 selective enrollment high school in Chicago, and you know I messed that up too, I guess, in my life. I went to high school and I didn't.
You went to school high.
I went to school high. I stuck around the older crowd again. I hang around with the seniors, like smoking all that shit, and like instead of like continuing and keeping my academics at a growth, it ended up like declining, right?
Yeah.
And I started failing classes, and I was just that knucklehead at my high school. I was definitely the most, I guess, quote unquote, like bad behaved, right? And
Yeah.
it was quite unfortunate because I didn't really do a lot. I just smoked weed and like,
Yeah. Did you always not like following rules?
not that I didn't like following rules. I guess that's just I was just an outcast. I would always like do pendejadas, like do just shit out of the ordinary, or maybe my luck too. Like I just would get in trouble, or like
Yeah.
I would always be the head of things, right? Like, oh, we're all gonna go out to smoke. Like I'm the one that brought all the weed and the joints
Oh,
to
okay.
like
Okay.
roll.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even though like again, like I talk about all the time, it's like this fucking short and mighty ass little kid, like
Yeah.
always trying to take charge of things. You know what I'm saying? Like in high school, it was that, like it was this short, mighty kid that always would like try to take charge of things, and I would like drive people around and all that. You know what I'm saying? But like I didn't really know. I didn't really know how to express myself. I was like a kid that was different from a lot of the people in that high school, and we it was weird for me because it's like everybody is like quite smart. Like I'm talking about like, hey, like Harvard, Yale material,
Oh
like
yeah.
Ivy League smart, And I have a lot of homies that are like graduated from Harvard now and shit. So sometimes you look at it and you're like, damn, why join the military? But it's like, yo, it's highly respectable, It's
For sure.
it's respectable, and it's like you don't it doesn't even matter what you did or what you didn't do. Like it's something that you are like respected for. I mean, I'm grateful for it. I graduated from high school. It was a tough time, right? I got suspended freshman, sophomore, junior year, on multiple occasions, right? And then my senior year, I think I was finally on my upscale, and I was like, you know what? Like I gotta get it. Like there's no way that I'm graduate high school. I'm not gonna be ready for whatever's coming. And so I started like putting myself on a routine. I would go to school. I would go to Starbucks early every day at like 5 in the morning with my homie Adrian. And where I would go, I would smoke on the way there. I'd fucking pound some Adderall at the Starbucks. it was my way of being. It was my way of being. Like it was my way of being, and I guess I didn't really care. I didn't really care to like think of if there's any like pros and cons about it. It made me feel concentrated
Yeah.
at the time, and like I had just finished like having a rough junior year, you know what I'm saying? And so I was like, dude, I need to do anything to like stay on track. You know, I had stopped cutting hair at the barbershop that I was cutting at my sophomore and junior.
You
Sorry,
said
man.
you
I
said you,
fucking,
you
you
started
see, I
cutting. Yeah,
fucking,
yeah, yeah. No, so you said you started cutting hair earlier when you said you were like 13 years
yeah, I
old.
started, yeah, there you
Okay.
go.
So
I missed out on a
yeah,
lot with
no,
it.
fuck it. Yeah, I mean we could always go back and forth. So
Yeah.
like tell me that. How'd you start cutting hair?
Oh, I started cutting hair after 8th grade. I was in the summer, bro, and I was getting good fades. My brother would take me to like to good barbershops, so I get like nice haircuts. I was like,
Okay.
fuck yeah, feed me, you know.
Yeah.
But my little brothers, they wouldn't get any good haircuts. My little brothers actually are not my actual brothers, but they're my cousins, right? Because in 6th grade, my aunt got deported, and my mom got custody of my 4 little siblings, right? Because my aunt reached out to my mom, and well, my mom was real courageous, and she fucking was like,
Wow.
whatever, I'm gonna take 4 kids under
Wow.
my household and raise them. And now she still
So it
raises
was
them.
your aunt's kids,
Correct.
and
She
it was
got
four of
deported.
them.
Yeah,
And
and it
then
was four of them.
how many of her own does your mom have? So it's you.
Me and my older brother and my older sister, but she was already. Oh no, she was still in the picture at the time. Yeah,
So it was, she went from 3 to 7.
correct.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's wow.
3 to 7.
And so how? So was it like a 3 bedroom crib, 2 bedroom,
Uh, it was uh, it was a 3 bedroom crib.
three
Three
bedroom?
bedroom crib. Yeah, 3 bedroom crib. No, 4 bedroom crib. 4 bedroom crib.
Okay,
We made a fourth one,
all right,
so I guess yeah.
yeah, nice.
But it was a 4 bedroom crib right there in Humboldt Park, and I remember I would fucking walk with a kid on each hand, you know,
Yeah,
back and forth from school, you know, and like, and amongst it, I feel bad because I was like this knucklehead kid that would like that went from like being the youngest child to like now I'm an older brother, you know. It was kind of like a fucking reality check for me because even though I was doing all my stupid shit, like I still had to take care of them. I still had to go home and like feed them and stuff. And even though I fed them and like ran outside and went to the park to go smoke real quick and then come back home to check on them, like I still had to take that.
word.
Like I had to take that like like I was put in that position. Like there was no fighting it. My brother was in high school and my sister was already pregnant at the time. I'm pretty sure
Wow.
she was already pregnant or my nephew was like already like had been born. But yeah, my nephew had already been born, right? So like I was like, damn, it was a culture shock for me because it's like you don't tell yourself you're gonna just have little brothers and you
Yeah,
know kids like to look over, especially at a
yeah.
young age. I'm in 6th grade, you know, it's like
Hmm.
it was a culture shock for
Word.
me.
Did you grow up with your pops too?
I did grow up with my pops. He was there my whole life. You know, he you know, I was just close to my mom more, I would say. He was
Yeah.
there the whole time, but I guess I guess I would say my dad was more so like the he was more of a man in the house, like making sure that everything was squared away and stuff like that. And sometimes like being a father and supportive of what like we did, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so like I mean my dad's not in the picture no more. Like, you know, it's quite unfortunate, like that he's not in the picture, but it's like, you know, you play stupid games, win stupid prizes, you know what I'm saying? One of that is like not being able to connect with your kids no more because of your own mistakes, you know? So
Mm.
I mean I'm grateful for him. I'm grateful for my father for always having a roof over my head and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I'm I'm more so grateful for my older brother and like the stuff that was instilled in me over time. You know, like
Yeah.
there's nothing more than like that older brother to slap the shit out of you
Oh, for
for
sure.
coming home high.
I feel like that happened a lot of times with you, dog.
Yeah, bro. So my you know my brother my dad was there, but my brother was definitely the guy that I looked up to growing up, you know. And my dad didn't agree with having my siblings actually. So like, you know, my mom was
Mm.
like, just sign off on it. Like, don't worry about it. I'll raise them however I have to do. Like, you don't have
Okay.
to worry about it.
Yeah.
Because my dad was like, why? You know, but he had already kids. He had a daughter and a son in California who are my oldest siblings. They're like 38 and 40 or some shit like that. So they can be like my parents if they wanted
Yeah.
to. My dad's old. He's like 67 right now, and I'm 22. So
Wow.
yeah,
Your dad's
yeah,
67?
and I'm 22. Yeah,
Wow.
motherfucker, rock solid.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, and so he already had like those 2 kids, and then he had another son and daughter in Mexico, and then me and my brother in Chicago, my sister was actually had a different father, right?
Yeah.
And so, I mean, she was out the picture at that time because she was already pregnant, moved in with her baby daddy or whatever, right? But growing up, like my dad was there and that was it, But I had these kids, and I grew up with them from sixth grade until obviously now. And after eighth grade was when I started like using them to my advantage, I guess you would say. Like I use them to my advantage because I get girls because I'm like I'm playing the
Okay.
older
Yeah,
sibling,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Always I play the older
Oh,
sibling,
for sure.
And I always found it in the best interest to take care of them. And one of those was like looking out for them with a good haircut, And so my
You
mom,
used to practice on them?
correct, like my
Yeah.
mom, she didn't want to spend the money. She's like, fuck it, $5 with the Mexican lady down the block. You know what I'm saying? Like it is what it is. And I was just like, yo, they're like getting fucked up. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm finally getting good fades, and I feel so bad, bro. So I'm like, fuck it, let me try. My mom was like, I don't care, and that's how I would start. How to fade, and then I try to mirror the YouTube video with my little sibling's
For
haircut,
sure.
and then that's how it went. And then over the summer of 2015 was when young Barber Steve was born. I would say I changed my Instagram.
How old were you in 2015?
I was 13. July 2015 when I started cutting, I was 13, and then in August I turned 14. So we're gonna say 14.
Okay.
Yeah, and so over the summer, Young Barber Steve was born. I changed my personal Instagram to Young Barber Steve, and I was like, I'm gonna become a barber,
So you've
And
been rocking with this Instagram since
since
2015?
2015.
Okay.
Yeah, and I switched it over, and I fucking I I would start putting like pictures and shit like on Facebook and Instagram, and I would go to the barber shop every weekend that I would get a haircut at to watch the barbers, or after school I'd watch them, or whatever, whatever I can. I was at the shop like trying to learn, what I'm saying? I'd go back to the crib and I'd practice on my siblings, and then so on and so forth. Started getting clients. A lot of the gangbangers would come and get haircuts. I owe them. I definitely do owe them. All right.
Yeah.
Rest in peace to a lot of them as well. Though.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's quite unfortunate, but a lot of the gangbangers definitely did support when I first started cutting hair. And I remember my mom and my brother would talk not talk shit, but like they had the best interest for me. They were like, "Hey, like you have these people coming into our household, and it's like, hey, they're not on like good steps, but
Yeah.
they were supporting, and so
Word.
I took them, I just saw this video the other day where Los Cut and Marvin, they were like, yo, you take whatever clients you can when you
start,
bro. It
sure.
doesn't matter who it is, a kid, a person that doesn't look like they're gonna pay, whatever, dude.
You can't be picky.
You can't be picky. You
when
just
you first start,
take
you
them.
can't be picky at
You
all.
can't, and so that's what it was, bro. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna take them, dog. Like, I don't care who you are, bro. I'm gonna take you, bro. Like, that's what it is, dude. And I started cutting them, and then December of 2015, I started cutting hair at the barbershop that I started that in December 2015, I started cutting hair at the barbershop that I used to that I was getting a haircut at.
How old were you then?
I was 14.
14?
I was 14. Okay. And I remember I started cutting hair there December 14, 2015. I'm real good with dates. It was a week before Christmas. I was shitting bricks, bro, because it's like.
Because you just started?
Yeah, dude. And like
you started right before Christmas?
Well, I started cutting hair in July, and then December I was cutting hair at a barbershop,
Yeah.
So it's like, dog, I'm like, here we go again. I'm like with the older crowd. It's stressful. And I'm like Mr. Midget, 14-year-old kid with like 30 fucking year old men next to me, grown ass beards and shit. Like, how the fuck am I supposed to like stand up to this? Like, And so you got motherfuckers coming in like, hey, shorty can cut hair. Like, I'm over here like, yeah, I can cut hair. Like, hey, try me out real quick. You know what I'm saying? And like, it was a good time. You
fucked shit up though, right?
Oh yeah, I fucked shit up. I fucked shit up. Man, dude, I got a good one though. Hey, Christmas, that same week, bro. That same week, dog. I was cutting hair. I remember, bro. I was giving I think it was like a 4 and a 0, I'm gonna say. 4 and a 0 on the little kid, right?
Yeah.
And I couldn't get rid of the 0 line, right? You know how hard it is to take the 0 line out when you first
with the
start.
Shaver or no shaver?
Yeah, with the shaver. When you first start, it's so hard.
That's the hardest.
That's the hardest. And so I'm there and I'm struggling, and finally I'm like, whatever, I think I'm done. The dad's like, oh, like that needs a little like more. And so I was like, all right. So I'm like trying, and it's nothing, right? The owner walks in, right? The barber next to me, right? He's like, hey, Eric, shorty needs help. And so then Eric, the boss, comes in and he helps me out. And this motherfucker, like, wow, man, this is the first time I see the owner cut hair. I ain't never seen the owner cut hair. I'm like, okay, cool. Like, this motherfucker owner, man. You gotta know how to cut hair.
Yeah.
This motherfucker comes and puts 2 patches in the little kid's head, bro, with like a half guard, bro. Like,
oh,
I
made it worse.
Dude, he did it worse. Like, the dad wanted the 0 line to get erased, and he came and patched the kid up with, like, I don't know what he was doing, honestly. I genuinely do not know what he was doing. I was thinking he was playing Captain Barber.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm like, hell yeah, my boy appreciates you, right? And so that boo, he moves away, and the dad just goes ballistic. Oh, shorty had the fucking hair good, dog. Like, you just came and you fucking shit up even more, dog. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's like, bro, like, my kid's supposed to go to fucking Christmas like this and that. I'm just like, bro, we're in Chicago. I'm like, yo, bro, what the fuck? What the fuck about to go down right now? The motherfucking about to yell right now, bro. You fuck up my little son's hair, like, I'm gonna be mad. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And I was like, fuck, dude. And so the same guy that told the boss to help me fix the hair drops like everything he's doing. He just comes over to my station. He's like, I got you, Papa. I got you, bro. And he's like, and he's spazzing. Right? And he ends up like fixing the kid's haircut, or, like making it presentable. And like the owner like had already walked away. And I was just like, oh, it's okay. Like, I felt so fucking bad. Like, bro, I didn't know what to do. I was like, oh, like, it's like, no, like, don't pay me. Like, it's okay. Like, no. Yeah. He's like, nah, shorty, like, go ahead. I remember he gave me like $40, bro. I think we were charging like 20. Yeah. I think 20 or like 8. I forgot, something like that, right? And he gave me like $40, bro. He's like, nah, shorty, like, keep at it, dog. Like, keep at it. I'm like, cool. Yeah. That's real. But I was fucking spooked, bro. I was like temblando and shit, bro. I was like, nah, bro, like, that was my first, like, incident. Like, it was, like, on Christmas week, bro. Like, you want to ruin a kid's Christmas with a bad haircut, bro? Like, that's fucked up, you know? And, I mean, I ended up staying at that barbershop for, like, a year and a half, but I got kicked out of the Palmer location. I was on Cicero and Palmer. I got kicked out of the Cicero and Palmer location because 3 of the barbers, hey, if the shoe fits, go ahead and wear it. Hey, 3 of the barbers in the back, yo, they was hating, man. They was hating, yo. I was taking clients, I guess, you know. I was hungry, you know, and we had grown ass men that didn't want to show up to work and were too hungover. And you know, the young barber Steve right there is like, yo, I'll take you. You know what I'm saying? The clients would be like, oh, can you cut your hair? I was like, hey man, give me a try, you know. And so they started complaining to the boss and were like, oh, like, shorty's taking clients, like, what the fuck, like, blah blah blah. And I was just like, I thought I'm like helping out. Like, if you're not here to cut up whoever needs a haircut, I'm like, I'm not gonna say no, bro. You gotta wait for your barber. Like, what the fuck, you know? And so they ended up like convincing the boss to moving me. And he moved me to a new shop. I remember I moved to a new shop. I was so sad, bro. I was dead ass feeling like I was like in depression, bro. I was a little fucking fortunate because I was like, my mentor at the shop was still gonna be there, right? My homie Chris, right? Chris Clutch, right? But he was like, hey, bro, like, fuck it, bro. Like, you gotta go over there to Kilbourne, but just go over there and just do what you were doing over here. Like, you can still come over here and like watch me. Like, fuck them in the back, right? Because he was at the front of the shop and they were in the back, right? He's like, fuck them in the back, bro. They're Haiti. Like, you know, I was like, damn, bro, like, that's some sad ass shit. But I went to the new shop and it was like, I felt like I was getting bullied and shit, dog. I was like, damn, bro, like, some bullshit, bro. Like, I'm at a fucking new shop, you know? And like, I'm still trying to look forward to it because I'm like getting out of high school and like I'm fucking going to work at this barbershop, you know? And it's like, oh, these motherfuckers just fucking like, they're not what the other guys were at the other shop, you know? It's like when you switch units, you know? Like, you know, you're at a unit, you're like, oh, hell yeah, these are my boys. Then you get to a new unit, you're like, oh, like, fuck these guys, you know what I'm saying? And so I got there and like, you know, I started like falling into bad habits, I guess. I went from my good shop that I was feeling myself in. I went to this new shop. And
so did you cut hair throughout all of high school?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
All of high school. That's all I was known for. I cut hair in the hallways, bathrooms.
So you cut hair in the bathroom?
Oh yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, I take my shit.
You ever get in trouble for that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I have a video. I'm pretty sure if I dig into my Facebook fucking videos, like I like a video like the security coming, like taking me out, like everything. But like that's what everybody knew me for, you know. I ended up getting opportunities to cut at the school though. Like we had a leukemia awareness events that we had every year. Cool. It was real amazing because I was able to like cut the teacher's hair bald, or like students that like volunteered,
Yeah,
for leukemia awareness, and it was a real heartfelt feeling, and stuff
for
like
sure.
that. I remember my freshman year, I fucking went. My eighth grade teacher was cutting hair for that
Mm.
leukemia awareness thing. And I was like, damn, like I didn't know you cut hair.
So did you end up graduating from that high school, or did
I
you?
did.
Yeah. Oh,
I
so
got
you went all four
yeah,
years.
yeah. I went all three. I went all 4 years.
How are your grades like up until you graduated? We still had like decent grades.
No, no. That's what I meant. Like when I was in the barbershop, like I had already passed my freshman year. I was good with grades. And then but then sophomore year when I had transitioned to the second barbershop was when I started like failing classes because I was just getting caught up in stupid shit. I was going to the barbershop, but then I would go back to the crib and like hang around like the old park that I used to hang around in, right? And I used to go chill, and like motherfuckers started smoking more heavy because I wasn't really interested in cutting hair at the shop, and like I started doing coke at the shop, and it was real weird,
Yo,
man.
low key, that's like I almost feel like that's part of like the barber culture.
Dude, it is part of the
It
barber
is,
culture.
right?
It is most
I
it
did
is.
not expect that until I worked at my first shop when I was like 25,
Yeah.
and I'm like, these motherfuckers doing like lines every other Friday.
Oh yeah, no, for sure, dude. Like when I remember like when they fucking first were offering me, I was just like, you know, like like I was like, all right, like, oh yeah, oh yeah. They're like, and I remember they used to call me Solis. I don't know why the fuck they used to call me Solis. This my homie Gio. I still talk to him. I saw him at the club the last time I went to Chicago. But my homie Gio would call me Solis. I would fucking get mad as shit, like Solis, Solis. I'm like, who the fuck is Solis? I'm not Solis. I'm like, hey Solis, you wanna pass it? Solis, come on. I'm like, bro, I'm like this little ass fucking kid, and like, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, bro. I wouldn't say no, but I'd go fucking do it, bro. And like, dude, it was
How old were
like
you the first time you tried
I
it?
was 15. Yeah, I was 15, bro. I was 15. I'm open to saying this now because my brother knows, and that's the only motherfucker I
Yeah,
care about.
yeah,
Like, that's the only motherfucker I care about opinion. So he knows, so we good.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah, dude, like weird, like, and it's funny because one of the guys in the barbershop, he ended up becoming my brother's brother-in-law.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, so my brother is dating or is like with his sister, like my sister-in-law, like I have a niece now and everything. So
For
it's
sure.
he's still in the picture, like, yeah, I can fucking pull that motherfucker out. He knows what's up. He knows what the fuck he used to do to me. He knows what he used to do to me when I was younger and
Yeah.
shit.
All right, cool. So, all right, so you graduated high school what year?
2019.
2019, and then you said that year that's when one of your friends passed away.
Correct.
So tell me about that
Yeah,
story.
yeah. So I ended up leaving the barbershop, junior year. I was like not even working at a barbershop, just cutting hair at the crib and working at this grocery store. And still wasn't necessarily doing good, but I wasn't failing no more like I was in my sophomore year. And then I got to my senior year and I was really like, yo, I need to fucking go head on straight. I need to put like my mind at ease and fucking look into what the fuck is gonna happen after this high school. And so I did everything good. I thought I was doing everything good. I was cutting hair, working at this grocery store. Everything was going good. And then like January of like 2019, like I remember I crashed my mom's truck into like a building. Right, I fell asleep on the wheel. I guess I was overworking myself, and I fell asleep on the wheel and I crashed into this building. And it was unfortunate because my brother had got the truck for my mom, right? Like had co-signed and stuff. And then like a month later, like fucking my homie gets shot, and I was like, there's no way that this just happened in the
Yeah,
span of like such a
yeah,
short
short
amount
amount.
of time,
Yeah,
And so you look at January 22nd, I crashed my mom's car, and then now February 25th, I get shot at, and I I wasn't doing anything, like he wasn't doing anything, like it was generally like wrong place, wrong time, And we got out of school around, went to go hang out with some girl to like 5 p.m. And my mom calls me. She's like, "Oh, you gotta go pick up your cousin, right?" My cousin went to like one of the schools that was like more problematic. They actually had gangs. That actually had like stupid shit going on, right? So I was like, all right, like fuck, whatever, right? Because my mom told me I don't have a choice, you know. And so my homie, he wanted to get a haircut with me, and so the whole day we were talking about, we're gonna go get a haircut. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna go get a haircut, and we're gonna fucking look fresh, my boy, and everything.
Yeah.
Like, it was real heartfelt because it's like I saw this guy every day in my senior year, bro, and like I'd be a liar to say like this guy was my best friend, right? And like the like his name like rings off like in so many people's minds, like, yo, this guy is a fucking amazing human being, bro. Like when you think about raza, like straight raza, and like somebody that's gonna be successful, that was him, right? My homie, right? Emmanuel. But we got out of school and I was like, Emmanuel, it's about that time, my boy, gonna get the cut. And we left the school. We go and we pick up my cousin, and he's like, oh, like, what's up, blah, blah. Oh, what's up, dog, whatever. He's like, oh, some dudes just checked me. I'm like, what you mean somebody just checked you? And he's like, yeah, some motherfuckers was like, oh, do you gang bang, blah, blah. I'm like, they were like, oh, they were like with a girl that I know from school. And so I was like, I'm like, bro, fucking lame ass dudes probably, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't really thinking about it like too much because I was like, well, I'm good on that. Like,
Yeah.
I was at a time like my senior year where I'm like, yeah, I'm good on that, bro. Like, it is what it is, you know? And so boom, I fucking did my thing, started making my way to the crib, you know? And then boom, my cousin's like, yo, it's them dudes right there, right? And I'm like, and so I look at them, I'm like, some ugly ass dudes, like, you're like, like no harm, no foul type thing. That you probably look at them and you're like, oh, there's no way that they're like really feeling any type of way like that, right? And so I'm driving by and like I end up like looking over, bro, and everything happened in a matter of seconds.
And you guys are in your
Yeah, I'm
car.
in the car. I'm driving. I'm in the
Okay.
car. I'm driving. Emmanuel is in the passenger seat. My cousin Jonathan is in the back, right passenger or right back
Behind the
seat.
pass. Yeah.
Yeah. And so we're driving, and then I look over, and I'm like, I look at this dude, and I'm like, oh, what's up, dog? And like he just like looks, but before like I don't even think I finished saying what's up, dog. Like before I could even look, like the motherfucker was reaching for his waistband. So the motherfucker reached for his waistband. I immediately like looked back at the front, and I gassed it, and all I heard was, bah, 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 right. I'm like, I just see like, I feel the glass shatter in the background, right, and in the back, and I'm like, oh wait, I can't look back. I'm just looking forward. I can't think to look to my side because I want to look forward and drive off, And so I look and I just see the man just like fucking just straight choking like on his spit, his blood, whatever you want to call it, like he just right. And at first I thought like maybe he was like in shock or like maybe like just like scared or like seizing up for some reason, right? But then I saw that like he was like all bleeding on the side. I was like, like they shot my boy. So like I ended up like calling, like I'm like calling the 911, and I'm calling, and my brother is calling me. And I keep hanging up on my brother, and then he's calling me, and I'm like, I'm hanging up, and finally I answer him by accident. I guess he ends up hearing me in the background, like, oh, Emmanuel, stay with me, bro. Emmanuel, stay with me, right? And my cousin's like, yo, Emmanuel, stay with me, right? And then my brother hangs up, right? I finally make the call to 911. They were like, oh, just pull over. The ambulance is gonna get there, right? And so we pull over, right in front of another high school. So we got shot at in front of one high school, and then we pulled over right in front of another one, right? And so you can imagine the kind of media attention it's gonna get for something being so close to a school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I pulled over, and I end up coming out of the driver's seat, and I go to the passenger seat, and I think about what to do. I take off my shirt. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm gonna put pressure on his side, and I went and I put pressure to his side. I just saw like my boy just fall forward, and he falls forward on my dash, and I just see this big ass hole on his neck. I just see this hole on his neck, and I'm like, what do I do now? Like what do I?
Yeah.
Like, it's one thing having one shot, and now you're talking about another one right on your neck. Like, there's no. What do you do? There was no bleeding. There was no like. It was just a hole, bro. Like, it was just right around it. it was just a hole, and I was just in shock, right? And I look, and I see I see a car, I see a cop car across. So I run across the street and I bang on the cop car. I'm like, hey, bro, my homie just got shot. My homie just got shot. She looks at me, this cop, she looks at me like in this in this fucking in this face where she's not even surprised. Like she's not even just another day on the job for them. You know what I'm saying? For CBD, just another day
Yeah.
on the job, bro. Like, okay, another kid shot, bro. Like, it ain't, hey, it is what it is, you know? And I'm just like, bro, this is not another fucking kid, bro. Like, this is a fucking good kid, bro. Like, fuck that. Like, you know? And so she busted a U-turn and, you know, that was that. All of a sudden, you know, cop cars, boom, she's blocked off, everything. And I'm this is what, like, I was in shock. Like, I wasn't even crying. I wasn't crying when it
Yeah.
happened. You know, I rewatched it in court and I'm like, dude, like, there's no way, that this just happened. My brother came, you know, he was scared as well, right? He was mad, he didn't know what to do because he didn't know how to comfort his brother. I didn't know what the fuck to do, bro. And they ended up taking him out in the ambulance, and I knew it was done. I knew it was done when I saw him. I knew it was done when I saw him, but I got that confirmation when I saw the ambulance pull off and no, no, you know, no, nothing. Like it just, you know, pulled off silently. And I was like, you know, there's only one thing that means, you know, it's like there's nothing else you can do. Like it's over. You know what I'm saying? I was
Yeah.
like, damn, like I could even hear the fucking ambulance sound like driving away. It was silent. You know, it's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? And so you fucking see news channels start pulling up. I remember I fucking ran across the street in disbelief, and I just ended up going off on a news channel. Guy, I was like, don't you fucking see what's going on? You're trying to fucking record right now, bro. I was trying to grab it, and the cop ended up grabbing me. Was like, hey son, like, hey, you need to calm down, relax, calm down, relax. And I couldn't calm down and relax, you know. And I ended up going to the police station that night, and then having to give you know, yada yada yada, what happened. And I didn't know what to do, bro. I had to go back and pick up my car, bro.
Yeah.
They were done with the car that night, bro. Like they were like, yeah, we're done. You can take it. Like, oh, I could just take it, like all shot up. But I drove my car shot up from fucking Belmont and Kilbourne to fucking Armitage and Oak Park, bro, in Chicago. And it's like a fucking good 20-minute drive. Like, bro, just imagine a car just driving down the block, driving down the street, and you see it all shot up, bro. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck? Like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, just another fucking regular day, bro. Like, you know, it was one thing for me to see it all the time on the news and
Yeah.
all this shit, bro. And then it's one thing to finally experience something like that. And it's like, dog, like, why me? Like, why now? Why couldn't have this happen at a time where I was actually looking for problems? You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I'm on my stage of growth, and you just came and just fucking hit me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I ended up going to school the next morning. My mom was like, "Don't go to school." I went to school the next morning. I was like, "Nah, ma, I need to go. I need to go comfort people. Like people are down bad right now." You know, I knew it, but I was just fucking laughing, fucking ha ha ha. Like, you know, Steve is the most fucking funny. Like, you know, but deep down I was fucking hurt. But I went to school and I went and you know, I was there for people and
And this is senior year.
this is my senior year.
Okay.
You know, and I ended up going and I made a Facebook event for a vigil, right? I ended up contacting a grupo, you know, like, hey, he's Mexican, he loves music, right? You know, and this is you know, dominated it's like a Caucasian dominated high school, you know what I'm saying? Like
Okay.
this doesn't happen, like I said, it's
Okay.
all kids of
Yeah.
who are
With
going to
money and
Harvard and
shit.
Yale, right?
Yeah.
And so now you got all these news channels contacting me, contacting the school, everything, and you're just like, what the fuck, what's going on, bro? You know, I had a news channel come to my house,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, I talked right there and I said some words, and that was that, you know. But it wasn't until 2 days where I had to go meet his older brother, where I was really scared for it. You know what I'm saying? I was scared for it because I was like, is this my fault, bro? Like, was I supposed to go another way? Should I have not looked over at the guy? Like, who, what would somebody else do in my position? Like, would you not play the older cousin part and try to protect you know, those around? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, you think about what the ifs and buts and whatever, you know what I meant? his brother and my older brother took me. Like I said, like my fucking support system. My older brother, like he went with me, and I remember I like I dropped to my knees and I kind of begged for his for forgiveness to his older brother. And I was like, hey, I'm sorry. Like I wish I could have done more. Like this and this, and like And his older brother said that it was all good. This and this, like what more can you do, right? And I mean, I guess I finally got closure. Like when we had court last year, and I guess all of his family was finally able to like hear the 911 call, like see the videos of me like taking off my shirt, like running to the cop car, like see all that, and finally they were able to get that that closure as to like everything that happened, and like I was finally able to get that closure because I was like, yo, like I did everything in my power to like help, and like I couldn't do it, and that's why that was one of the big reasons why I joined the Marine Corps, because I was flopping, bro. I was flopping after that. I did the vigil and everything, but when everything was done, the funeral service, the burial service, everything, there was no more to do for Emmanuel. Like it's like, yo, life continues, dog. Like what else? Like what else are you
Yeah.
gonna do? Like it's done. Like the funeral and the burial is done. Like now you gotta go recover and move on. It's
Yeah.
like I just saw somebody like die. Like what the fuck? I gotta live. Like what the fuck you
Yeah.
mean? Like anybody with an unselfish attitude will say me before you. You know what I'm saying? Anybody, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
anybody with an unselfish attitude will be like, nah, bro, I'd rather have them take me than you because it's like, why? You know what I'm saying? If you've never done anything bad to me and we've been on good terms, like, bro, like, that was a good kid, bro. I didn't get the chance to cut his hair,
Yeah.
And over time, he became my go-to guy to like pray to and shit. But I flopped and shit, and I finally like found myself like lost, and so I got this call from a recruiter.
That's
Uh,
your senior year.
yeah, my senior year. So he got killed on February 25th, and then March 9th, no March 8th. March 8th, I got a call from a recruiter, and he was like, "Oh." I was like, oh, hey, hey, I'm Staff Sergeant Johnson from, as RS North Center. Have you ever thought about, whatever. I was in bed, bro. I was in bed fucking high and crying. I was like
Yeah.
listening, and I was like, oh, well, honestly, I don't know because, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was going to go to college, but my friend just got shot and killed, this and this. And then he was in shock because the shooting happened down the street from the recruiting center. So he heard about it. He knew what happened, right? But he didn't know that he was calling, I guess, me, right? And then the next day, I ended up going after school to the recruiting station. I was high as fuck. Oh my god, bro! I was fucking blasted, bro. Like the same way I came in here, like I probably walked in there like straight stinking, bro. And
Yeah.
like I walked in and he was talking to me and like the whole like you want to be a Marine, this and this. I was just like, I do. Like I want to get the fuck out of here, like I do. And then the next day, I smoked a blunt 5 in the morning before my work shift, and then I went cold turkey, didn't smoke. Come April 26th, I became a police, and
Yeah.
then shit started like coming back. I'm like, okay, well at least I have something planned for after high school.
Yeah.
I started picking the slack back up. Fortunately, I was able to graduate. Barely, but I graduated. And I was hesitant to go to boot camp. I guess after I graduated, I was like, fuck, am I really gonna dip now? Like I was real depressed. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, but I just made this decision in like less than like fucking like I don't know
Yeah.
how many months, bro. Like that's
Yeah.
crazy. And I ended up still fucking doing that, obviously, right? But when I shipped out, it was like
Did you ship out that summer?
no, I shipped out October 28th.
Okay.
I didn't want to do it yet.
Yeah.
I didn't
Okay.
want to do it. I kept on
Yeah.
trying to push it.
Yeah.
But they were so scared, dog. They were so scared I was gonna fuck up.
Yeah.
Because the day I became a police, I started smoking weed again.
Yeah.
Just started smoking weed, and they were scared that I was gonna fuck up before I shipped out of boot camp. But it was like I wasn't ready. I didn't. Or I guess mentally I was ready. I don't even think when I did leave I was mentally ready. And I knew I wasn't mentally ready because I shipped out to boot camp. And I was real happy because I'm like, yeah, I'm finally gonna go do something with my life, and like in memory of Emmanuel, I'm gonna go do something with my life.
Yeah.
But I knew I wasn't ready because in boot camp, like I still felt it, right? I would write back to my mom, and a lot of the feelings I would feel at night would would be for him, you know, stuff like that, you know. And I remember one time, like, they IT'd the fuck out of me. Like, I was in Camp Pendleton, and, you know, they're IT'ing the fuck out of me because they had saw me laugh. You know, I was a fucking big-ass jokester, bro. Like,
Yeah.
all my gym instructors, and they're going to all see this video because they all fucking follow me now. But I was a big-ass jokester. I didn't care, bro. I'd be like, yo, this recruit would like to cut your hair. Like, I would fucking tell my gym instructor, like, you know, they knew I was a barber. You know what I'm saying? They knew I cut hair, you know? And I remember one time I walked in, and I think my boy Guzman, and he's my client right now. My boy Guzman, he cracked a joke, and I guess they just saw me laughing, and so they were like, they came out the fucking hut, and they were like, "Hi man," you know, whatever, right? Boom, you know, hop on the court deck. I'm like, damn, whatever. So I hop on the court deck, and yo, they're fucking me up, bro. Like bogus, dude. Like this was probably the worst time I got fucked up, like in Bucad,
Yeah.
for sure. These motherfuckers were fucking me up, dog. Like, and it got to a point where I was like, the sweat was going into my eyes, so I don't know if I was crying or if it was the sweat, you know.
Yeah.
And some motherfuckers don't know, right? When you get an IT, shit just starts occurring and shit. You just, you know. So I'm there, right? But then I knew it wasn't sweat, and I knew it became tears when my senior came out. And my senior came out, and I don't know how drill instructors like figure stuff out, if they go and investigate recruits or try to figure out about their life. But he comes out, right? He's like, stop, right? You know, I get up, you know, stop by, sir, blah, blah, you know, good afternoon, whatever. He's like, I miss, you think everything's funny, right? I was like, no, sir. He's like, yeah, you do. You think everything's fucking funny. And guess what? There's no time to be fucking funny in this fucking organization. I remember everything he was telling me. He's like, you want to see somebody die again? And I'm like, I remember I lost character. I stopped being a recruit for a second. I was just like, what the fuck does that mean, dog? Like in my head, right? I was like, I looked at him, I was like, and he's like, oh, I got you, right? And I was like, I like looked. He's like, yeah. I was like, you want somebody else to die in your hands? And I was like, what the fuck? Like, dude, and they were trying to team, and then they tried to start a game at IT. I wasn't going for it, bro. There was no way I was going for it, bro. I was like in shock. I was just like bawling, bro, like in tears, dog, at the quarterback, bro. And the whole fucking squad mate is staring at me, bro. And like, even to this day, I don't think everybody knew what that IT meant for me, right? But I was like, there's no way he just mentioned my dead homie to me like this, dog. Like, there's no way. And so I'm like crying and shit. All right, miss, come on, let's go. He puts me in the duty hut, right? I don't know if he fucked up. I don't know what to say. I don't know if he fucked up or I don't know, whatever. But he puts me in the duty hut, and he like grabs a water bottle. He chucks it at me, and I catch it. He's like, go ahead, drink water. And I chug it, bro. It was like the best water I had in a fucking minute. One fucking water bottle, you know?
Yeah.
So I chug it. He's like, what's wrong? And I'm like, this, bro. I'm like, fucking, you know, like when you get the jitters and shit, you're like, fuck. He's like, what's wrong? I was like, this recruit. He's like, all right, just chill on that. I was like, I don't know why you said that. Like I was like just jotting my words, bro. And he's like, oh, like I was just trying to get to you, right? And I know about your friend. I know about why you joined, right? I was like, oh, but you need to really realize that this is not something to play with. And he gave me the talk, you know, and he ended up recovering from it, right? And it did hit me.
Yeah.
And you know, I guess the rest of the time that I was at Pendleton, I used that to my advantage and used it as motivation because, you know, I was a knucklehead, you know, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? I always have been, you know. I guess that was my breaking point in boot camp where I was like, yo, like, I want this at the end of the day. So it's like, this is the best time for it to use this as motivation because in Pendleton, you know, you're about to become a Marine and you're like, that's it, you know. And I ended up, like, you know, graduating boot camp, obviously, and, you know, I still have mad respect for my senior. You know, I have mad respect for my senior, all my other gym instructors, you know what I'm saying? They, you know, one of them is actually in barber school right now. Shouts out Staff Sergeant Harris, you know, but a lot of them like still keep in contact, bro. And like, you know, it was a tough time to get that in boot camp, you know, but other than that, like, you know, boot camp in itself was a great time, you know, great and fucking sucky time because it's like the most fucking like funniest plays that you can't laugh at, dude. And I fucking love laughing, bro. Like what do you like, dude? Like what do you like? What do you mean? Like the guy next to me is pissing his pants and I can't laugh. Like, dude, there's no way. Like, bro, this dude, my homie Hernandez, I don't know if I knew he became a Marine, bro, but it was when we were already graduated, he was still he was injured. So
Okay.
we became Marines and he was in the injured fucking
MRP,
whatever fuck.
I was
right?
an MRP.
Yeah, fucking bozo. No, but I remember we became Marines and then later on down the line, I think I saw him in the fleet one time, right?
Okay.
But this motherfucker, like, we was online, and this motherfucker was like telling me he needed a piss, but I was like, yo, just say something. And he didn't want to say nothing, bro. I'm like, dude, just say something, bro. He was shorter than me, bro. I'm not that tall, bro. So I'm like, bro, he's like this little, like,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's funny as fuck. So like he's this dude, and I'm like online, like putting shit out, like what back online, you know, whatever, right? And I'm just seeing this guy, he's just shaking and shaking and shaking and more, bro. And then by the time you know, all I see is like just that shit dripping down his leg, bro. Bro, and so I'm like this, bro, like POA, bro, whatever, online, bro. And the drill instructor that comes, bro, and it's like, do you just fucking piss yourself? And I'm like, ooh. I'm like, ooh, no way. Dude. And then to make it even worse, dog, dude, I'm looking at the piss just get closer and closer to my shower shoes, dog. Oh my god, dog. Nah, bro. Chill, dog. Dog. I didn't end up moving my shower shoes. I got pissed on my foot, bro. I got pissed on my foot, bro. I got pissed on my foot, bro.
Hey, that's some good bearing, though.
Yeah, I kept my bearing, dog. Yeah, I kept my bearing. I used some wipes. Later on, bro. Fuck that, dude.
Free time, just
I wasn't gonna get fucked up, bro. Like, you know, like.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Yeah, but you know, I mean, the Marine Corps, you know, like all that was built up into, you know, it was crazy because the general instructor told me in boot camp. I think it was like, you know, when you get in pedal, you West Coast or East Coast?
East Coast.
Oh yeah, whack. That's a time. This, you know, conversation for another time. But like these motherfuckers, like, oh, right before we were break for free time, you know what I'm saying? Yo, talk to. I remember one time they fucking like told me they're like, you know what, you're gonna get NJP. I didn't know you're gonna get NJP. I didn't even know what an NJP was. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know what the fuck that meant, like, all the way, you know? Or now I know what it means. But I was like, I look back and I'm like, damn, these motherfuckers already knew what was set for me, like, going into the fucking Marine Corps, you know? And when fucking Staff Sergeant Ruiz, Gunny Ruiz, now fucking was like, you know, I don't know how these motherfuckers figured out our jobs or whatever. It was like, do you know how I like my omelets? And I was like, huh? And then the joke came back to me that I was going to be a cook going into the Marine Corps. And I was like, a cook? What the fuck you mean, Gordon Ramsay, motherfucker? And I'm like, damn, bro. Now everything's coming together. My recruiter said open contract was like a lottery, bro. Like, you can get any job, bro. You can get a cool job. You can get whatever, bro. I didn't know that if you didn't score a high score, like, there's no way you're gonna get a cool job, bro. Like, you're gonna get the bottom of the barrel, bro. Like,
that would be intel, dog. That would be recon, bro.
Recon, my bro. You know, and I knew that being a grunt was still up for grabs, bro. But I didn't want to be a grunt because I'm like, I ain't gonna be nobody's fucking. Like, I ain't gonna be fucking doing all that fucking extra. I want to be some other cool shit. You know, like being a grunt's cool, but I want to do some other cool shit. I wanted to be like MP or some shit. I don't know, right? And I'm like, damn, bro. So I came here as a cook, you know, whatever, and you know, MCT went by. You know, I had fun at MCT right here on Pendleton and shit, and went over to Fort Lee, Virginia, right? Fucking buttfuck Fort Lee, Virginia, and I'm going to school to be a fucking cook, you know, and like I'm like whatever, right? And you actually do learn how to cook, you know what I'm saying? Like, you do, you know. Like, there's like
whatever makes you feel better, dog.
I was looking at the pros of things, but I was really looking at it like,
just be hella optimistic.
I was really like, you know what? Well, if I learn how to cook, then that means that one day I can be like, hey, mom, like, I got you, like, I'll cook something up, you know. But then like now I realize that it doesn't really, like, unless you really put your heart and soul into that motherfucking shit, like, it's not gonna transfer out of the Marine Corps, like, you know what I'm saying? And people will say like, oh, we'll transfer out, like, no, it's not gonna transfer out for real, you know what I'm saying? And so I cut hair during MCT. By the way, you know what I'm saying? I was.
Oh, did you? You brought your fucking.
Oh yeah, for sure,
No
dog.
way.
Dude. Motherfuckers are lucky I didn't take that shit to boot camp, bro.
No, you wildin', bro.
Dude, I remember at boot camp. I remember when we had our warriors breakfast after we became Marines. But I remember at boot camp, they kicked off some Marine from the table. Was like, hey, you switch with Jaimes. We're like, hey, Jaimes, you come over here. We know for a fact you got a lot to talk about. And I fucking ended up like hopping over there. They fucking know damn well. But I was like, yo, so can I cut your hair? Like whenever like we get out of here. Like when I was already on.
That's fire, dog.
Dude, I was like, when I talk about like I knew what I was gonna do.
Bro, that's some barber shit, dude, dog.
I was ready, bro.
Bro, I was at the gym today in at Las Flores, fucking passing out business cards.
Oh yeah,
to the Marines, bro.
Oh yeah, bro. I be at the Chick-fil-A drive-through. I used to be at the Starbucks on base everywhere, dude. Bro. When I was on restriction for all 3 times, my boy, like I wanted to fucking pass out business cards in like every barracks store.
Hell yeah.
You know when they put the little SIF cleaning services? Like, oh yeah, we clean your SIF. Well, bitch, I cut your hair, motherfucker. Come here, motherfucker, get a haircut.
Yeah.
You know But I went through boot camp and everybody knew I was a barber, bro. Coming out of boot camp, everybody knew I was a barber, bro. There was no hiding it, bro. Like I had I made it known that I was a barber.
That's like. That's what you need to be a successful barber. Like that, just that drive right there that you just tell everybody that you're a barber.
Dude,
that's what makes you a good barber, dude.
Dude, and it's I came out and I'm so thankful I did, bro. Cause dude, I've cut up so many of my boot camp clients and it's the most hilarious shit ever, bro. Like just like cutting up your boot camp like homies and you're like, dude, you start hearing shit that you forgot about. You're like, oh yeah, I remember that shit. Oh yeah, I remember that shit, bro. It's like, yeah, no, keep going, bro. Keep telling me some shit, bro. Please don't stop talking, bro, because this is really making my day, bro. Like, you know it, bro. Like, dude, I can't get enough of it, bro.
Bro, I've cut out one of my boot camp boys like 10 years after boot camp.
Yeah.
And there's this one incident in boot camp where the receiving drone shutters made us all stripped down butt naked. And we all ran into the shower room because some motherfucker wanted to start laughing. And he all packed us up, nut to butt, into the corner and made us squat down and get back up, squat down, and just keep packing up. And then, like, for years, like, that's just a boot camp story. I'm assuming this shit happened to everybody, you know? 10 years later, I'm cutting this fool's hair during a pandemic, bro. And he tells me, remember that shit that happened to boot camp? I was like, yeah. He's like, that Joe Shutter got kicked out the Marine Corps for sexual assault for that incident. I was like, no way.
That is crazy.
Yeah, dude.
That you would think, hey, this is funny.
Yeah,
whatever. Yeah. Hey, motherfuckers should have read the rules book, man.
Yeah,
I wish I read the rules book. Shit. Fuck, bro.
You know, I mean, read the rule book, they throw that shit out.
Dude, I wish, man. Like, I guess I always even if it was the smallest of rule, I would break it. Like don't cut hair in MCT, bro. Like, dude,
bro,
I was
you're wild enough for that.
Dude, I was in. I knew it was hard, but I didn't give a fuck. But I had videos, bro. Like I love the fact that I grew up in a generation where you have phones. Cause like, yeah, motherfucker, I have that video.
Yeah, that's fire.
I have that picture.
You gotta send me that video so I can like. Post it to like.
Oh yeah, I got you, bro. Yeah, I have videos of motherfuckers sitting on the mop bucket, mop bucket, bro. And then you got like 15 motherfuckers sitting on the floor, dog, in MCT, bro. Straight up, dog. Motherfuckers just sitting there. Motherfuckers eating Domino's pizza in the bathroom, waiting for their cut, dog. Like crazy, bro. Like I'll be like, yo, what the fuck? And at first instructors were trying to like tell me like I couldn't cut hair, and then they realized like, yo, like fuck it, it is what it is, bro. And like. And it's so funny because one of the guys that used to tell me a lot of shit was Staff Sergeant Lamar. And I saw him at my second unit. I remember he checked into the unit. I was like, yo, Staff Sergeant. He's like, hi, man. I'm like, oh, like, it's funny when you see the friendly faces, But, I cut hair through MCT. I was real happy because I went from cutting my own hair in MCT and, like, in the middle of the night because they're like, oh, we're going to do a PX run. You know what I'm saying? The next day or whatever, right? And they didn't let me cut hair when I was actually in MCT, right? Like when I was waiting training, I would cut hair, like fuck them, like whatever, right? When I was like do a waiting training, like I would have to be like real slick with it, like in the nighttime, like behind the fucking wall locker with a fucking phone flashlight, you know, like. And that's only if, like, Mr. Pretty Boy Marine over there really wants a haircut from me. Yeah. But a lot of them would be like, fuck it, we're just going to go to the PX at this point, like, because there's no way you're gonna cut fucking 40 of us in the middle of the night before
Yeah.
we have to do a PX run in the morning.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying?
Yeah.
And I went from cutting my own hair to like getting sick ass haircuts at the PX. Getting
Yeah.
some sick ass haircuts at the PX. Dude, you're like, the fuck you mean sick ass haircuts at the PX? Like, yeah, bro. I went in there and guess what? Same thing. Hey, I'm a barber, yo. Like, y'all not gonna fuck with me, motherfucker.
Yeah.
Don't fucking play
Yeah.
with me,
Yeah.
motherfucker. You're not gonna
No,
skip me.
bro, that's the smartest thing to do. Like,
You're not gonna skip me.
anybody watching this, if you don't trust the place, go in there and say you fucking cut hair, and they're gonna take extra fucking time and way more detail to your fucking haircut,
For real,
knowing
bro.
that you're a fucking barber.
Dude, even like in the PX at the fleet, whenever I did have to go get a last minute haircut, I'm not gonna say you're a barber. Like, I promise you, bro, that shit goes from a 5-minute cut to like 15, 20, bro. 15, 20. But the only reason I got a sick ass haircut at the PX was because one of the guys that cut hair there, and everybody wanted a haircut there because even though he was cutting hair fast like any other PX barber, he was producing like good fades. And I noticed that. I was like, there's no way this motherfucker is just like doing a fade like that, like just like nothing, right? And so I finally got to the chance to get a haircut. I got the chance with him, and boom. Like, I went to talk to him. I told him I was a barber. Boom, followed him on Instagram. He followed me on Instagram. Right, my homie Junior East, Junior_East, EASE. If he still has it like that, but I'm pretty sure he does in San Diego, right? That motherfucker started hooking me up, bro. I swear, bro. Motherfuckers are coming. I'd be feeling like I'm at the barbershop, bro. I'd get like 40-minute cuts, bro. I'd get 40-minute cuts, bro. And my instructors would be pissed off, dog. And MCT, bro, with a sick-ass fade, bro. Dude, like, like, it didn't get better than that, but I've always, I always think back to my homie Junior. I'm like, man, bro, I would kind of find it cool to cut hair at a PX, too. It'd be kind of funny. It'd be kind of funny, you know. It'd be a different experience from like.
Bro, we should hit up a PX on base.
I see we could just go cut hair for a day. Dude, that'd be crazy. Motherfuckers would be like, yo, they got 2 new barbers at the PX. Yo, they motherfucking cold with it. The next day they're gonna go. More homies are gonna go. They're gonna be like, yo, we don't know what happened to them guys. They came like guardian angels from the Valhalla heavens. You know. And FCT was cool, boy. I went to the schoolhouse when I really made money, though.
Yeah,
schoolhouse. I fucking made. I made 15,000 in the 5 months that I was at the schoolhouse, bro. Yeah, and the only reason I did it was because I stopped charging a basic price. There was no like, oh, I'm cutting hair for $20. Like, it was bidding wars. Schoolhouse was bidding wars, and hey, thank you for all the motherfuckers that paid me because that shit helped me out. All right, that car crash that I did in 2019 with my mom, like that shit cost her money, and I never knew how to pay it back. There was no way I was gonna pay back $13,000.
Yeah,
and the schoolhouse gave me that, bro. I fucking cut my ass off, bro. I would just send money to my mom, and I paid off. I didn't pay it off. I just pretty much gave her back the money that she had originally used, because there's nothing else I could do. Like, I could say sorry, but it's like, that motherfucker, $13,000 is a lot. I knew that she pulled it out of her savings because I wasn't on the insurance. So it was like, so I went to the schoolhouse, bro, and I started cutting hair, bro. And big shout out to my homie, my homie, Major Oliver, retired. But the homie, like, let me set up in the computer lab on the 3rd floor, dog. And like, I went from like cutting hair in my room for the homies, right? And then I cut up in this computer lab, dog. And I got videos of this shit too, my boy. Like, dog, everybody in that motherfucker. Like, I'm talking about, like, you got Duty in there. You got them playing dominoes. They motherfuckers pulled in their PlayStations. Like, they all fucking, because it was an empty computer lab with like little stations. So I created my station at the corner, and like everybody was just like PlayStation, whatever, right? Everything was good. In the schoolhouse, bro, I was making money, everything. I was on like waiting to like pick up for class. I was making money, everything. I would like post up right next to the window. So when people would go out on Libo, I'd be like, yo, hey, Sanchez, hey, bring me a spicy chicken sandwich from Popeyes. They'll be like, yeah, for sure. You got me when you come back? When I come back, I'm like, yeah, for sure, And if they actually brought back the food, then they would get priority. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, yeah.
So money would be priority, but like if a motherfucker's hungry, like,
Yeah,
hey, bro,
no,
like you gotta come
with
on.
barber, you can barter. I got free tattoos just with giving out fucking haircuts.
Yeah, that's what I say. Like,
Yeah.
hey, like if you could give me something, like,
Yeah.
bro, I'll take that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, I'm like real big about that too. Like, it's like I think the best way to retain a client, bro, is like if you can do stuff for each other. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can support me, I support you, bro. Like, dude, that's the best of both worlds, my boy.
For
You know what I'm
sure.
saying?
Yeah.
And so that's what it was. Like in the school, I was like, yo, like what you got for me, my boy? You know what I'm saying? And so
but like it's so dope, like as a barber, how like you could be a Marine or whatever.
Yeah.
But like once they're in your chair, like you could turn that shit off and you could network and be friends with anybody.
Oh yeah.
You know, be friends with majors and staff POs and
dude,
all that shit, bro. It's just
so,
like
it's so crazy.
It breaks the wall. It breaks the barrier.
And it's crazy that you say that because while I was in the schoolhouse, this was before the CO and JP me, I got the opportunity to cut up the sergeant major of the schoolhouse, right?
Sick ass fool.
And I remember, dude, I was fucking shitting bricks, bro. All you hear is First Sergeant Delgadillo on the fucking intercom, you know, like, you know, PFC Jaimes to First Sergeant's office. And I'm like, no te pases de verga. What the fuck I do? I'm like, dude, I swear. I was like, there's no way, bro. I literally, like, you just heard everybody, like, like the hallways, right? And so I come out the computer lab. Everybody was in there. It was like, damn, bro, what you do? I was like, dude, I didn't do nothing, bro. I swear I haven't done nothing, bro. I don't think I did it. Like, I'm like, fuck, do they know how much I'm charging? I mean, I'm not necessarily charging. That's what the Marines are paying. Like, I'm not the financial advisors. Like, I'm sorry, right? But I fucking go down to First Sergeant's office and he's like, you want to cut Sergeant Major's hair? I'm like, yes, First Sergeant. He's like, all right, then go get your stuff. And I'm like, right now, First Sergeant, I was cutting somebody's hair. He's like, is he Sergeant Major? I was like, oh, my bad. I was like, fuck, damn, talk about rock, paper, rank, my boy, like, my bad, help me. And so I fucking went up there and I told the homie, I was like, hey dog, you gonna have to wait, bro. Like,
with a sick ass guy.
Like, with a sick ass fucking ball, like, not like, full fuck it. And so I ended up going down and, you know, with my backpack, everybody was like, what the fuck's going on? Like, they were like, is he in trouble? And then, boom, I went, like, to, like, the little headquarters building next from, like, where the students were at. And I went to cut Sergeant Major's hair, bro. And like, you know, it was so funny, bro, because I was just cutting their hair, and like you said, bro, like I went from being a student to like I'm your barber right now. Like you're in my chair, like, hey doc, talk some shit to me, homie. Talk some shit to me. I'm gonna shave your shit bald. Nah, but I ended up giving Sergeant Major
with the straight razor to
I ended up giving Sergeant Major a low and out of Rex fade though. That motherfucker said run me a low fade, dog, and like now that I look back at it, like that shit was out of Rex. And I don't know why the fuck he did that because the top was like bald. Like,
white dude?
Yeah, he was a white dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he had like a little comb over, but there was like little thin hairs. Like you could see the skull.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? I was like, all right, you know, he's still living out to his maybe like, I don't know. And so that was the first person that I ever cut up in the Marine Corps that was like, I guess of high rank. That I'm like, oh hell yeah, like I just cut up my Sergeant Major, you know?
Yeah.
And then later down the line, I would cut up more like you know, staff sergeants and gunnies like at the schoolhouse, or like sometimes they would even bring their kids, like on like Saturday and Sunday, they'd bring their kids to the computer lab and I'd cut their hair. You know, and so everything was good and shit until like, you know, I ended up, you know, deciding to throw a party, you know, at a hotel on base. And then the homie Pinkston got a little too fucked up and you know, ambulance came, all that, boom. You know, we all rushed back to the schoolhouse. Like we ran. Yeah. Because we weren't supposed to be over there, you know, and the next morning, like I woke up drunk as fuck. Like I don't know how I did like nighttime accountability. Yeah. Or whatever. And that's how they were figuring out that some shit had fucked up because he was in the hospital and they were like all mad. I was like the fucking front of my room door, like fucking like lit as fuck. I'm like, oh my God, dude, like there's no way, right? Fucking, you know, everybody, you know, we're up. And then the next, you know, I went to sleep and I woke up like all hungover, bro. And I look at my roommate and I was like, yo, Garcia, like, what the fuck happened, bro? Like, we good? Like, we good or whatever? He's like, nah, bro, like, Pinkston went to the hospital, like, this and this. I was like, no way, bro. And then, yeah, by the time you knew it, you know, they found out that The name on the room was, Steve Jaimes, and fucking they put two and two together. They fucking found my co-host Hernandez. I just saw Hernandez, like he just came back to the States from Oki like a couple months ago. He started getting a haircut with me. He came back with my unit and he came in. I was like, yo, you know what I'm saying? NJP buddy, first NJP, and like boom, I like got my first NJP. I was like, damn, like that's it. I remember the first weekend of restriction, like I would cut hair for 7 in the morning to like my last check-in. Like, what else are you gonna do? Like,
Yeah.
you're on restriction,
Yeah.
So they gave me 60 days of restriction. Like my last 2 months in the schoolhouse were just on restriction, and so I just cut hair, and it was good until like they were like telling me that I couldn't cut hair because I was extortioning Marines. I didn't know what the fuck that meant. I guess, like I said, I wish I read the rules book, the court martial fucking book or whatever. But they were like, you were extortioning Marines because like they're paying X amount of money. That's where I went back to like, yo, I'm not charging them like that. They're just paying that, Like one of the guys paid me $160 in the schoolhouse one time.
Yeah.
It was like 2 days before he was gonna go home. He was a reservist dude. So
Yeah.
go back and see his wife.
Yeah.
He saw the list. Some guy was paying 150. The guy put 150 as a joke, and so he was like, I'm gonna pay 160, and then he got a high and tight with a comb over.
Yeah.
Fucking
sick.
Best 160 I ever got,
Yeah.
And I mean, I ended up, getting out of the schoolhouse, obviously. I mean, without getting in trouble, even though they were like threatening to like get me in trouble again. And I went to the fleet, Camp Pendleton.
Yeah.
Camp Pendleton, Oceanside, yo, I fucking love it over here. I fucking love it. But I got attached to CLB-11 over there under the first MLG, and it was sick. It was sick. I was a cook, but I was field mess. So like, if you're a cook and you're field mess, you're not really like busting your ass off like a cook at the chow hall. You know what I'm saying? Thankfully, I never had to be in a chow hall because I think I probably would have lost my mind being a cook. But I was gonna go on the MEU, right? Like I went to CLB-11 to get attached to the 11th MEU, right? And so we did every workup, like every fax, you know what I'm saying? We did rut over there, 29 palms, like everything. And amongst all this, I was still cutting hair, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, like I got to that fucking unit and I started taking over those fucking barracks, bro. I remember when I first got there, they told me there was already a barracks barber, right? And I was like, who the fuck is the barracks barber? Right? Not you. I was like, who the fuck is the barracks barber, right? And it didn't click in my head that the barracks barber that they were talking about was my homie Salas. And my homie Salas is my homie from back home in Chicago.
No way.
Yeah. And so I remember he used to be in the schools, but he was a Motor T guy. He used to call me and be like, hey, bro, how am I doing this right? This and that. I'd give him like tips and tricks.
Yeah.
I remember that he had told me that like he was on Pendleton, but I didn't quite think of it too much. But it ended up being that I hopped in the same unit with him. So the same guy I used to smoke weed with and cut his hair back home in Chicago, I was in the first unit with. So I was like, oh fuck yeah,
That's sick.
It was funny because the last time that I had seen him before that wasn't boot camp. He was already a Marine and he was pouring up his drink. I saw him, bro. I swear to God, bro. Maybe he fucking called me gay, but I was like, oh my boy, you know what I'm saying, bro? I was so happy, dog. That's what my stupid ass, I'm like, fuck, dog, I'm gonna go get some fucking water too. So I fucking got up there to the drinks, and he's already a Marine, so he's a little bit more like lax, you know what I'm saying, chilling. I was like, yo, what's up, dog? He's like, you look stupid, bald. And I'm like, fuck you. I'm like, you look stupid, bald too. And then he's like, how much you got left? I'm like, oh, like a month left. He's like, all right, dog. Well, see you on the side. And he just like walked away, and I was like, all right. And I went back to my table. I was like, damn, that motherfucker. A boot camp where you like see motherfuckers graduate every
like jail,
weekend. You're like, damn, these motherfuckers are gone, man. Bitch, when is it my turn? No, And so I finally saw him, and then it was cool. It was cool because we started cutting hair. And like, I ended up taking a lot of clients, what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is, But there was enough for all of us to eat, and I cut hair. Everything was good. We started doing the ship-offs. When I started doing the ship-offs at CLB-11, that's what I was really like. And for anybody watching this, if you are a Marine and you do cut hair, I highly recommend to go on a MEU. Highly recommend it, all right? yo, there was people that came back from this meeting and were like, yo, I made like 15K. I'm like, bitch, you didn't even know how to cut hair before you left. What the fuck you mean you made 15K? Like, some bullshit, you know what I'm saying? Because even if you don't know how to like really cut hair, you know, a motherfucker will go get a haircut with you just because they need it. You know what I'm saying? And so I ended up doing the ship offs, and the first ship off, I got there and like same thing, you know, started telling everybody I was a barber. I would be lying if I said I didn't have bad intention, and it fucked me over later on down the line, right? But I came in, I started telling everybody I was a barber, bro. All the chiefs, oh yo, hey, cut my hair. You know how the chiefs are on ship, like they're fucking like little ass kids, dog. You know what I'm saying? Like you know, and fucking so the senior chief that was running the supply section on ship ended up like pretty much like paying like he ended up the senior chief ended up like saying like fuck whatever the Marines has you doing, like you're not gonna cook, like you're gonna cut hair, you know. And so my staff sergeant, who was bald, didn't care about haircuts, didn't fuck with that idea, right?
Yeah.
And my staff sergeant was not the most hardworking staff sergeant, you know, so he's like, fuck, I'm gonna lose a Marine, like nah, no shit, you could probably got to pick up some slack, you know what I'm saying? And so there was always beef with that, but I had my back covered by my sergeant major. My sergeant major was the quote unquote homie at the time, right? He ended up turning into not the homie, but right, he backed up the senior. She was like, no, Hyman needs to be in the barbershop, like he can cut hair, like he needs to be down there. So I was down there teaching the E4s and E5s on the Navy side how to cut hair and shit. Like, dude, like life was good, bro. I was like, bet, bro, like. Dude, I go to my ship offs and all I have to do is cut hair. Like I'm gonna go on deployment and all I have to do is cut hair. Like, dude, this is amazing.
Yeah, no, that's
dude,
it.
I'm gonna get paid for this, bro. Like I was really thinking about what I was gonna do in my head. And somebody, hey, y'all can steal my plan or whatever. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking about doing like the bronze and like silver and gold plan, bro. Straight up, right? And it was like the bronze plan was probably gonna be for the guys that maybe only wanted to get a haircut like once a month. You know, and then like the platinum was gonna be like the guys that wanted to get a haircut every week, like if they were still out in the, you know, in garrison. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I was still charged like $30, right? So I did the math, right? Whatever. So if you do $30 every week, it's gonna be like 120 a month, right? So it's like, okay, instead of 120, you only pay me $100 at the beginning of the deployment, you know, for X amount of time, and then at the middle of the, because I didn't want to do the chip to chip on ship, you know, for all my dispersing homies on ship were like, hey, dog, like, don't have people send you money on this chip card because you're gonna get flagged. You know what I'm saying? If you get flagged, then it's like, now you got yourself in problems because it's like, hey, you know, we shouldn't be doing this on ship. You know, but the Marine Corps is not stupid. They all know that we all have our side hustles on the ship, right? Whether you're selling cigarettes or you know, say you're fucking selling ass. I don't know.
That's true, huh?
But I fucking was like doing it, and the last ship off, they were playing fuck games with me. I remember they were like, we were at the armory before going out to the last ship off, and they were like, oh, you're not going on the mid deck no more. You're going on the big deck. And I was like, what the fuck? They're like, yeah. So when we get down there, like, go pack your shit up and move it to the big deck. And I was like, what the fuck? Like nobody ever said nothing about this. Like it was my staff sergeant telling me. I was like, bro, this shit smells like cat. You know what I'm saying? There's no way, dog. Like really, like, all of a sudden, like Mr. Like, I'm not trying to sound egotistic, right? But Mr. Prodigy Barber, that's like fucking boosting morale on the ship off, right? That just finished cutting the captain of the ship on the last ship off. You know what I'm saying? Like, is about to get moved over to a new ship. There's no fucking way, dog. Like, bro, when I got to cut up the captain's hair, dude, it was like, dog, I felt like that motherfucking guy, dog. Like, yo, I'm fucking Conor McGregor walking down the fucking ladder wells, like, walk, you know what I'm saying, dude? Like, ain't no fucking.
That's fire.
Dude, because the thing with that was that the captain of the ship never got a haircut, hadn't gotten a haircut for 5 years from somebody else. He was cutting his own hair for 5 years. The last time he had gotten a haircut was when he went on leave, he told me, and he was from Oakland, Captain Sanders, right? He's a admiral now, right, which translates to a 1-star general in the Marine Corps now, or a brigadier general, right? But I remember he came, the chiefs, like I said, they're like little kids. The captain of the ship is coming. The captain, you know what I'm saying? So like everybody's like, oh, you know, clean the bulkheads, clean the
all that shit.
clean the floor. Like, bitch, the floor's dirty. Like, what do you like? You know, like, what are you talking about? Like, all right, whatever. So we start cleaning because the captain of the ship is gonna come down to the barber shop to meet this fucking kid that's like making everybody fresh on the ship. You know what I'm saying? And
And
so
what rank were you?
I was a Lance.
Okay.
I was a Lance corporal, right? And so I was like, fuck, like, all right, like it is what it is. Like I'm just gonna meet this guy, dog. Like it ain't really.
Yeah.
I don't really think about it too much. Like everybody is a guide to me. You know,
Yeah.
when you're a barber, bro, like
Yeah.
dude, especially cutting hair at the age of 14 with grown ass men, like, bro,
Mhm.
you better be able to keep up with conversation one way or
Yeah.
the other, dog. Like,
It's crazy.
dude, it's real crazy, dog. And
Mhm.
so I'm like, all right, fuck, like I can't be nervous. Like I gotta run this shit. Like it is what it is, dog. You know what I'm saying? And so that ended up was gonna become my highest rank, right? Because he was a 06. And so he comes down, right? They're like, oh, you know, attention on deck, right? Everybody's attention, like, oh, calm down. I said, hey, so you're the Marine that everybody's talking about giving nice haircuts around and everything. I was like, yes, sir, yes, sir. He's like, so what? Are you gonna hook me up too? He's like, I'm like, yes, sir, yes, sir. He's like, oh, well, when do you have time? And I was like, um, right now, sir. He's like, no, I don't have time. I don't have time. He's like, that was a bad question. That was a bad question. Hold on. And then he fucking asked like one of his homies, like, well, not one of his homies, but like the assistant officer, whatever, like
like
pull
an
up
03 or some
like
shit.
the adjutant, pretty much, like to like the CO
Yeah.
or whatever, like for the schedule where he had it. So he made an appointment for the next day, right? And it was like during my child time and shit. And I was like, there we go again, rock, paper, rank, right? Like I fucking kept on getting rock, paper, rank with haircuts in the Marine Corps, bro, I swear. And I ended up cutting his hair, bro, and it was good, bro. It was a sick ass time, bro. I remember he was talking about like me, like fucking like fly. He was talking about like me, having me get flown over to cut his hair if he ever needed me to, like during deployment and shit. I was so excited. I was like, dude, let's fucking do it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I ended up not going on the deployment because I got NJP for my second time a week before deployment. We threw a pre-deployment party, and I ended up fucking crashing my car, and I walked back to my homie's crib and told him to give me a ride at base, and I was gonna get my car towed the next day and like take it to the mechanic because I didn't hit another car. I just hit like the wall. You know what I'm saying? I hit the wall.
Where was it, on base?
No, it was on Meadowbrook and Melrose. I know the streets now because
where's that? LA?
That's in Vista.
Okay.
In Vista.
Oh, Melrose. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my homie, he went to Vista High School. He like his mom and his dad were in Vista, and I went to boot camp with him. You know, so like we were tight. You know what I'm saying? That's my fucking boy. You know what I'm saying? Like to this day, is my boy. Free him though. And he fucking he started bringing me to the community, right? And that's who I owe, I guess, credits to as to why I cut hair now down there in Vista now, right? But he threw a pre-deployment party, right? And we all knew he lived right off base, right there in Vista. You know what I'm saying? And we all went there. We had a fucking fat ass party, you know, big group, all that, you know. And the plan was to go back to base, obviously, everybody after that. And I didn't make it back to base because I crashed, but I ended up getting in trouble because I posted a video. Posted a video of me drinking, and once again, I was underage drinking. I highly still disagree with the underage drinking rule in the military overall.
No, for sure.
For sure. You know what I'm saying? That's something that I hope one day could get double checked because I think about
motherfuckers are gonna drink anyway.
Bro, and I think about like, dude, like how much does it take for somebody to join the military? You're telling me that you can't drink a beer? Like you're telling me that you're like, oh, I'm gonna treat you like a grown ass man. Oh, I'm gonna treat you like a grown ass man.
You could kill someone.
But you can't fucking drink a beer. Exactly. Like, bro, I was in the fucking pulley system. I went to my recruiting center, bro, and there was a fucking pulley there, bro. Mr. fucking guy, Mr. Badass, bro. My homie Cooper, right? Like, this motherfucker was 16 years old, waiting to turn 70 so he can ship out a boot camp. Like, dude, you're a fucking animal, bro. Like, what the fuck? And so, like, now imagine he goes into fucking the military, he gets in trouble for fucking drinking, you know what I'm saying? Quite unfortunate, right? Maybe not 17, maybe we'll wait to the 18 mark, right? Yeah. But my boy Cooper, he ended up joining the military. He became a fucking like solid ass fucking dude. You know what I'm saying? Went from recon to going into the infantry after, you know, like all that, right? So I'm like, dude, this guy wasn't even like 21 to like I think the end of his enlistment. You know, like he re-enlisted now, but like there's no way that a guy like that is risking himself, right? And like situations where like, you know, you're getting deployed here and getting deployed there, and like you're telling me that that guy has to like hold this weight on his shoulder that if he gets caught like drinking a beer or something, maybe not in the grunt world because grunts are different, obviously, right? But if they're really being a dick, then he can get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? It's just quite unfortunate, you know, and I get it. I wasn't there drinking and I crashed my car, so maybe I should have gotten in trouble, you know what I'm saying? But it wasn't the way that it was done, you know? My sergeant has seen my car the next day and it wasn't, oh, keep it in circle. You know, when they be like,
what
you know,
dick.
yeah, you know, she was a dick. But I guess we're friends now. Whatever. She can see this shit later on. But, but she fucking, but she instead of like trying to keep it in circle or whatever, I guess they blew up my phone in the morning and that shit ended up getting routed up before I could even like explain myself or whatever, you know. And so like I was like, fuck, dude. And so everybody kind of told me they're like, hey, they were waiting for it. Like, hey, they were waiting for you to do something and you gave them that ammo, right? Because everybody was mad. I'm like this barber on ship, like, and dude, like being a cook on ship is fucking trash, bro. Like, I was so happy I didn't have to cook on ship, dude, because like, dude, you work your fucking ass off, dude. You know what I'm saying? And so like, no, that is not the move. You could do something you love, get
she was
paid
hating
for.
on you, bro.
Yeah, no, my whole command was hating, bro. My whole command.
They're mad because you're not with them. You're fucking.
This is not me talking shit on my command. This is just, bro. The command climate survey speaks for itself. And for anybody that doesn't know what that is, it's pretty much a fucking questionnaire of like when you get new bosses and how were the old bosses. You know what I'm saying? And then everybody puts in their input anonymously, and then that's the fucking review of how their time was there. You know, but like, dude, like. I ended up going to this NGP, bro, and I went from being this like good guy, like at the end of the day, boosting morale with haircuts, because you know on ship is like, bro, you don't have a good haircut, like motherfuckers are sad, like, bro, at least you want to have a good haircut, like while you're locked up in ship, you know what I'm saying? Like that's, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's anything, you know, you want a nice haircut. We're fucking barber, we're fucking nice haircut, and so I go to this fucking NGP, bro, and it's like everything like just turned on me, like the Sgt Major that so like was like so like. You know, like this and this, like, you know, was like, oh, this Marine's a jerk, he's a coward, blah, blah. Like, calling me out of my name, I just didn't fuck with it because it's like, hey, like, you know, like, don't, like, you can't just, like, discredit a Marine for something that, like, that he did that caused him to get in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's quite unfortunate, like, in the Marine Corps, when you face adversity, like, you automatically, like, got this, like black sheep, you know what I'm saying? Like upon you, you know, it's like it's like what the fuck.
You get in trouble once and you're shit back forever.
Yeah, you know, and so you hear all the higher ups talk about like, oh well, you know, I had 2 NJPs. Like, yeah, you had 2 NJPs like 20 years ago, my boy. Like when like they needed you, right? And right now, maybe they're being a little bit more lenient now, but like 2 years ago when I did like was getting in trouble, like they weren't really caring about like retaining Marines, right? We still couldn't get full sleeve tattoos, right? Now they're doing all that, right? Oh yeah, let's let them get tattoos, like, oh, let's bonuses, like, oh, like, hey, go on recruiting, we're gonna give you another bonus, like this, like now they're doing that, right? You know what I'm saying? So now you got this like thing where like, oh, well, because we need Marines, like now let's not get them in trouble. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But when we don't need Marines, they're like, okay, fuck it, we can get them in trouble, like whatever. You know what I'm saying? For some petty shit too. It's like, you know, like, for example, when people look into the barracks, you know, like if you're fucking drinking in your barracks, you're like, why you gotta go pick out the Marines that drinking in his barracks? From like, at least he's in his household, what it is, you know what I'm saying? And so he ended up calling me a jerk and a coward. I remember I looked at the lieutenant colonel and I was just like, ma'am, can I say something? She's like, oh, go ahead. I was like, ma'am, I just want to disagree with Sergeant Major. I'm not a coward. I'm not a jerk. I'm not any of this. I was like, it's quite unfortunate that Sergeant Major is supposed to be the senior enlisted advisor and nobody in this unit goes to him for advice. Like, I just completely went on the rack because it's like, they're like, either get kicked out or go on deployment. And it's like, I know what's going to happen on this deployment. I'm going to go from being a barber to being a cook. They were going to switch me ships and they were going to make my life a living hell. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, there's no way. I'm not going to go be your puppet. Because I go over there and I try to be your puppet, I'm going to get in trouble again. And there's no way I'm going to get in trouble in the middle of the ocean or in another country.
Yeah.
All right, because that goes bad anyway. All right, you know what I'm saying? You fucking hear about Marines that get in trouble in a country that's not obviously that's fucking carajo land and shit, and all of a sudden they're facing fucking criminal charges over there, and guess what? They're not coming back to the States. They're staying little happy asses over there. So I was like, hell no, I ain't going on deployment. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
I was sad. I was like, dude, I'm gonna lose out on a hell of money, but I was also like, my mental health was not there at that point, dude. Like, I was complete like, I was like fucking bored. Like, no, I was suicidal at the time, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and it wasn't like necessarily like a lot of like like actual like plans. It was just more of the thoughts, right? Because everything was coming back to me that I'm like, damn, like I'm about to get kicked out of the Marine Corps with 2 NJPs, right? Because pattern of misconduct, right? I'm about to get kicked out the Marine Corps, and I was supposed to come in the Marine Corps in memory of my homie who got killed. You know, it's like, what the fuck? It's like, here I go again, fucking something else up in my life, you know? And so I remember I was like calling my ass off, calling my mom and my brother, you know, like, hey, I'm sorry, but I can't continue. Like, I need to come home. Like, I'm done. Like, I you know, I started becoming a quitter. I became a quitter at the time, you know? I was like, fuck. You know, I ended up hopping on restriction, and my unit, they went on deployment, and so I got sent to the regiment, and they were in Guam, so there wasn't a lot of Marines around. I was on restriction, and so, you know, like, nobody knew me. I didn't know nobody, and I was just this fucking, you know, little fucking PFC on fucking restriction, you know? Who the hell is this guy?
Yeah.
We never seen him around. And food service company didn't want me at that unit because they thought I was a troubled kid. I was going to get kicked out anyway. So it's like, why do we want him over here? So I ended up staying in the S1, right? And I was in the S1 waiting to get kicked out. And then I slowly started learning the job. And then I was like, it's just kind of cool, you know what I'm saying? And there was a Master Guns Jones. She ended up like kind of like motivating me to like kind of like stop being a dickhead. Like, you know, it's not nobody else's fault that I like, you know, I went and I fucking got in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's my fault. And it's like, so it's like, you're either going to be like a burden for other people, or you're going to continue and like fucking put your big boy pants on and finish strong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I used that. I used that to the very fucking last day of the fucking Marine Corps. You know what I'm saying? And it came back to me good because I ended up meeting my Gunny Givets, and he fucking he talked to the CO, and I came back from rehab, and they were like, hey, you're not getting kicked out no more. Like, you know, like, we're dropping it. Like, boom, like, you're good to continue serving. And I'm like, that's it. Like, I can just I can still be a Marine, right? I'm like, and they're like, are you not down for it? I was like, I'm down for it. Like, hell yeah, like, I'm good. So I was happy that I didn't quit at the time, you know, like, it was sad. Like, it was a sad time. You know, I was ready to give it all up. I was like, man, fuck this shit, dog.
Yeah.
Like, I'm done with this shit. And I know a lot of people can relate when it comes to like being a person with a lot of emotional stress prior to the Marine Corps, and you think that the Marine Corps is like your, you know, your let out, like your getaway. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes like you think about it, like you think that the Marine Corps that it's gonna be that getaway, and sometimes it's not. You know, like, you're not done with whatever whatever motivated you to join. You know what I'm saying? You just use it. You know, and so I ended up becoming this fucking stellar S1 Marine, I guess you would say, and like, I still was like the, I guess, class clown of the unit. I ended up becoming well known again. Became this barber, became, you know, started cutting everybody's hair, and I finally got a chance to leave Pendleton, right? I got the chance to leave Pendleton in July of 22, no, May of 22, May 2022. And I went to Palau, some little ass island. Like, they say Guam is the bogus Hawaii.
Oh, so you did end up deploying?
Yeah. But this is the thing, though. I don't know if I called it a deployment or if I
called it an
exercise. I was out there for 3 months.
Yeah, you said that's a deployment. I mean, yeah.
That's a lot, you know. And maybe people are gonna talk about this, but what is a deployment? Because if a motherfucker got deployed to Afghanistan for 1 month, like, and it's not 6 months, is it a deployment? Fuck yeah, it's a deployment because you was out there, motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? But if you get sent out to Guam for like 6 months, then people will be like, "Oh, that wasn't a deployment; it was an exercise." But it's like, "Oh, why? Because it was Guam, or like it wasn't like this, like combat zone."
I would say it's a
Yeah,
deployment.
it depends. And a lot of people, sorry,
It depends. Yeah, for sure, it depends on who you ask. Because like I remember back when I was serving, like it wasn't a deployment unless you went to Afghanistan.
yeah,
Anything else that's not a deployment.
yeah. But
But like
nowadays,
now it's been peacetime for so long. You know,
deployment is like Australia.
yeah.
Like
I
that's
would say
the
it's a deployment.
well, okay. A lot of people call it deployment, but I ended up
3 months.
going.
That's
I ended up going, and it was so sick because I was Advon. It was Advon, and Advon is like the motherfuckers that get there first before everybody else,
yeah.
before the main body. And I ended up going out there on the plane. It was like a 23-hour flight, bro. Like I was like, dude, there's no fucking way. I got there at nighttime, so I didn't see nothing. And finally, when I woke up, I was like, dude, there's no fucking way, bro. Like we were at this fucking resort, bro. Like I'm like, dude, this is a fucking vacation. So that's why I don't know if it was the program, bro. But I went out there, and there's a lot of meaning behind going to these places that people might not think about because they're like, oh, you went on a vacation. I was like, yeah, but the government has its own task that they're trying to like check off. All right, so you might think that is a vacation, but there's actually something on their like plan book. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so I fucking went over there. I was under the billet of MCCS. I went out there to cut hair. They didn't want the locals cutting the Marines' hair, so they took me out there to cut hair. I wasn't gonna like. I wasn't like.
So you,
dude,
let me get this shit straight. So you deployed because they gave you, there was a billet open to cut hair.
They made a billet. Like they took off. I think I forgot what they. You know how they like give you like X amount of people are gonna man this exercise, right? It's like
Yeah.
I think they took off like one of the billets so they could fill an MCCS billet, which was for me to go and be a barber, like be accounted for and paid for to go over there to just cut hair. Like that was like that's
Oh,
yeah.
that's sick.
Yeah, I know. That shit, yeah, dude. Yeah, bro.
No, that's awesome.
Dude, I was
That's
so
fucking
excited.
sick, bro.
I was so excited, dude.
Dog.
Dude, I ended up.
No, I should just give you the fucking name Barracks Barber, dog.
Dude, I no, bro. And what's great, bro? I loved it, bro. Like,
That's awesome, bro.
I loved the Marine Corps when it came to cutting hair. Like cutting hair in the barracks, like on restriction. Fucking first time in school, second time when everybody was on deployment, I was still cutting hair in the barracks. That's how I met new people at my new unit. And then I was in the S1. You're the first person to see everybody.
Though this is crazy from cutting hair, like even though you got that DUI or whatever, but like from cutting hair.
I didn't catch it. I didn't catch it.
Oh, not the NJP.
Yeah.
But from cutting hair, you almost like dictated your whole career.
Oh no, yeah.
Right? Instead of the Marine Corps telling you what to do and all this shit.
Oh, dude.
Because you were so good as a barber and you networked everybody, you created your own path.
Dude, I wish I brought my plaque, bro. I wish I brought my plaque
awesome, bro.
On my plaque,
they
described it the best way possible, because I did anything to not be a cook.
Yeah.
I went, became an embarker, helped out the guys offload and unload the trucks. I volunteered to be the A driver all the time. I volunteered for anything. But I wouldn't mind going to working parties because I just didn't want to fucking cook,
Yeah.
And when I realized that the barbering was like even bigger like gateway out of like shit, I'm like, dude, there's no way, bro. And so that was the biggest opportunity. So when I went out there, bro, for the first week that I was out there, I didn't cut any hair, bro, because none of the people that I was supposed to cut their hair is there. Like none of the main body is there.
Okay.
They're traveling over there on ship, and I had flown there.
Yeah.
I had flown there to check out the location of things. And I remember I was there because I was one of one. Like it was my program, the barbering program, as one of one. I was ended up arguing with like my master guns out there because I was like, oh, like you guys have already showed contracts for like X room, X, Y, and Z room, but what's the room for barbering? And so I was like talking to the hotel manager, like this and this. I was talking to the contracting guys, like, hey, like y'all gonna have to get that room for me because I need that shit to cut hair. Like, hey, are y'all gonna extend that shit to first sergeant, all of them when they get here? And like, bro, nobody would listen to me. I was like, all right, man, for sure. I knew how it was. I was like, I know how to pull these strings, dog. Like, this ain't this ain't nothing. This ain't nothing. So first I got there, and first I was Mexican. I'm fucking, that's my boy. I was like, at first on, like, hey, like I tried telling them this and this. Like, he's like, what the fuck? What you mean that they don't have it ready? You know, I have fucking Marines coming out of the ship looking like they're in the fucking Navy and shit. Navy cats, right? Like I was like, dude, he wasn't lying. Like motherfuckers came out of ship after like being on there for like 3 weeks and they didn't get a haircut, nothing. So I was like, I was looking at everybody. I was like, dude, I'm about to be booked back to back, bro. I'm like, no way, bro.
Yeah.
And thankfully, like some of the Marines didn't care about getting a haircut with me, and they'll like go still get a haircut with the locals, right? But I was still cutting a lot of people's hair, right? And finally, like first time I was able to get me a room, and they didn't have any fucking AC, so it wasn't hot, you know what I'm saying? But it was still dope, and it was like there was like the pool out there, the jacuzzi, the beach at the resort, and then I was cutting hair and everybody was working their asses off. Like comm guys were out there fucking setting up comms, like busting their asses off. Like my boys that are cooking were going to the airfield to go cook for like, and we weren't the only batch there. Like it wasn't only the Marine Corps there. Like Air Force was there at the time. Like the Army, like Navy cats were out there. Like all the branches were out there, right? It was coming down the news article. They're like, oh, U.S. shows presence of force out here in Palau or whatever, right? I was like, okay, I'm starting to see where we're getting at with coming over here. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I guess down the line is when that island over there is gonna become something bigger for us. You know what I'm saying? So,
sure.
But it's real dope, man. I love the locals, man. They were real fucking real funny. I know they remember me, man, because I got in a fight over there and I made an embarrassment of myself, but it is what
you got your ass
No, negative. I got Sergeant Way to back me up, you know what I'm saying? But no, I got in a fight with one of the homies. Damn, I'm not gonna put his name out, but I ended up sneaking out. After like 10 o'clock because you can't go out. I was like, I'm going out, dog. I was already plugged up with some of the locals, texting them on WhatsApp.
Yeah.
Like, yo, pick me up over here, dog. Like, bro.
WhatsApp?
Yeah, bro.
That's what all the third world countries do.
Dude, that's what I'm saying, WhatsApp. Bro. I was on there, dog. And so, I ended up walking out the resort on the Quigs. Boom. I got a taxi driver, and then I ended up going to this karaoke, right? And I went over there, and there was a whole bunch of Marines there from the other unit that was there, right? But the other unit was way more cool, and I was like, man, that's some bullshit. So they all saw me. They're like, you're the barber, huh? There was this mascot out there. He's like, I know your ass not supposed to be out here. I was like, mascot, come on, really? I'm your barber, yo. He's like, I ain't fucking see you for real. I'm drunk. I'm like, that's right. Like, dude, hell yeah, we fucked up, bro. And so we're partying, bro. And then like 2 hours later, I see the three homies pull up, right? And I'm like, yo, what the fuck? He's like, yeah, but we snuck out too. I was like, oh, hell no, that's funny as fuck. And so we all started drinking and shit. And I ended up wanting to go home with some local. You know what I'm saying? I wanted to go home with a local, and I was like, I don't give a fuck, but I'm in a third world country. I'm ready to do whatever, homie. You know what I'm saying? And my homies weren't down for it. They're like, no, but you gotta come back with us. I was like, bro, I didn't come with y'all. Like, y'all can go without me. I can take care of myself. They weren't going for it. So then Big Sergeant was like telling Little Corporal to tell fucking Lance Corporal over here, like, hey, I'm fucking Corporal. Like, we gotta go. I said, motherfucker, we lit right now. There ain't no fucking ranks out here, dog. Like, fuck out of here, dog. And Buddy ended up like, I think he ended up like shoving me. I think I ended up shoving him on the ground. And we got separated. And the security guys were like, hey, Steve. Like, they knew who I was already, right? Yeah. They're like, I was like, all right, my bad. I ended up like walking down the street. And all I felt was like somebody running. I looked back and it's the homie like coming to like sneak me from the back. And I'm like, ah. And at that point, my adrenaline wasn't running no more. I didn't even want to fight no more, bro. I was like, fuck it, we're going home, bro. And then my other two homies were like, hey, y'all gonna have to scrap now, because my homie was like, yo, fuck that, bro. You hit me, bro. Like, fuck that. I was like, fuck, dude. And this motherfucker was tall, bro. Like, that motherfucker like 5'10", bro. I'm fucking 5'4", dog. There's no way, bro. Yeah. I'm like, damn, I'm about to get my ass cracked, bro. And so we ended up hopping like behind like this local's like house, like a little cut. And then we squared up, and then we went at it, yo. I ended up at one point got him to the ground. My knees were out, fucked up, just ground pounding him, pop, like my hands were fucked up, hitting the sidewalk and his face. You know, he ended up getting me off. He socked me real good. I thought I was about to get knocked out. Like, and then I was like, oh. Yeah. I felt like I saw like twinkle stars and shit, but he didn't continue. And you know, and then by the time that happened, the local came out. the cops showed up, and the cops were like, "We'll give you guys right back. It's okay. You guys American. You." I'm like, nah, fuck that. Fuck, I don't know how this works. All right, maybe other people know how the third world countries work and all this shit. But I was like, I am not happy with no cop car. If I'm not gonna do it back in the States, there's no way I'm gonna do it over here, bro. Like, even if you look friendly as fuck, talking about like we're just gonna give you a ride back to the hotel, like, fuck no, dog. And so we ended up like shaking up, and we like hopped in the car and went back. But then the next day he had a mask on. And I thought it was so funny because it was like fucking 100 degrees out there. Nobody was wearing a fucking mask. Like, it was COVID season, but
Yeah.
we weren't wearing masks. And then we were like indoors. Even
Yeah.
that, not even, right?
Yeah.
And so fucking he calls me. He's like, "Hey, bro, is anything wrong with your face?" I'm like, "Nah, bro, I'm good." I was like, "I'm chilling." He's like, "You good?" He's like, "No, it's good. Gunny, whatever was asking me." I'm like, "Oh," and he came to my room and he looked like Hellboy, bro. He looked like Hellboy, and like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, he was bad, man. But it is what it is, you know. But that was a good time. I could have my Colonel Palmer. I could have Colonel Palmer. He was my RTR commander in boot camp. So that came back, circled around. He came and they knocked on my door. They're like, "Hey, we should cut up Colonel's door because the 3-star meth general came to visit us while we were out there." And I remember they tried to had me hide all my barber stuff, and I was like, "Why are you hiding me hide all my barber stuff? Like, there's obviously he knows that Marines gotta have haircuts. I just know, like, you know what I'm saying?"
Yeah.
And so I ended up cutting my Colonel and shit, but you know, nonetheless, I did put it out there, and I came back, and you know, everything was good for some months leading up to my EAS. I was getting ready to get out, but I kind of DUI and stuff, you know. So I caught my third NJP. When I caught my third NJP, it was kind of like kind of game over, you know, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But through it all, but
so you ended up getting out as a PFC.
PFC, bro.
Yeah. I don't know how too much memory I got on my phone.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
But let's
I don't know how
let's
long
fast forward to
so
like now that you're out the Marine Corps, and you just when did you get out?
September 14th.
Also,
2 months ago.
Yeah, a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Fucking. So what are your goals now as a barber?
I think my goals now as a barber is definitely my biggest goal is to give back in other ways that I didn't while I was in the Marine Corps. You know, and you can relate to this, man. It's amazing to have Marines come in my chair and talk to me about their lives, about still being in, and it's real heartwarming because sometimes you tell yourself like, "Damn, man, what if I would have re-enlisted?" You know.
Yeah.
And so one of the goals is to teach other people how to cut hair. You know, so they can use that skill while being in the Marine Corps, whether it's just like one-on-ones, like homies. And you know, and then and in the same way, obviously, like evolve myself. You know, I want to get out there. I want to get out there. I want to get to these events. I want to put more emphasis on what it is to be a barber. You know, to go through all this adversity and like all this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've been cutting hair for 8 years. You know, like it doesn't feel that way though.
Yeah.
You know, it feels like I just started cutting hair last year because I'm finally gonna put my all into it. You know, and it probably makes sense for a lot of people because some people can be cutting hair for like 10 years, like.
I don't know.
You just didn't do nothing. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So you're like, damn. But a shop out here, maybe. I think the goals that I have right now are very short time oriented.
Yeah.
I would say. Obviously, my bigger goals are like opening up a shop and opening up a barber school or like whatever. One of my main goals is getting my license. I don't have my license right now. You know, it's sad that I lost my GI Bill because I could have gotten my license with that. But like, there's a lot of people that are in the Marine Corps that like want to learn how to cut hair, you know, and so like, but they're lost in the sauce, you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And so, as a veteran now, you know what I'm saying? Like, fuck, I got time, and it's like, why not use it to the best of your abilities, you know? And it's like things like this. It's like creating videos, going to competitions, reaching out to people. How can I help you? You know what I'm saying? This is how you can help me. You know, I think that's the best thing. That's the best thing too. I think bringing out the good parts of the military to the civilian world is what I still want to do, right? Yeah. This whole camaraderie and things. You know what I'm saying? I think it's real important, bro, because it's like, you know, people don't understand what it is. to have like that type of camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? And so
you can't find it anywhere else.
No, you can't. And like as a barber, like, dude, I must say, like, this is the maybe correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a fucking sick ass job for it to like dig deep into like people's like lives and how they feel. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and pick people's brains.
Dude,
who are just
I
crushing
said on the video, I was like, bro, I'm a barber. I'm a barber. You're a barber. You're a therapist. I'm a therapist. I'm a counselor.
Yeah.
I'm a fucking veteran. I'm a friend. And I'm family. I'm everything. You're everything behind the chair. You know what I'm saying? I want to expand on all of that in bigger aspects, I guess, by giving back.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like one of the biggest advantage that like me and you have as like barbers is that our background in the Marine Corps.
Yeah.
Because like Marine Corps teaches you how to be accountable, like take initiative and all this shit. And when you apply that to being a barber, you just stand out from all the other barbers. Because barbers, I feel like naturally are just fucking lazy and have like no fucking work ethic.
Oh yeah.
So like once you apply like certain things to you as a barber, it'll help you develop yourself as a barber and help you grow your business.
You know, it's crazy you say that because I try to instill like field days at my barbershop and everything. It's not working. It's not working. But I do find myself trying to do stuff like that. You know, I try to like I try to get awake early, at least before 8, you know, as if you were going to work in the Marine Corps or whatever, you know. And you know, some of the stuff I've been lacking in the fitness part, you know, and all that.
That shit's hella important, dude.
What?
That shit's super important.
Oh, correct. It's super important because, like,
especially if you're young.
Yeah.
Stay in shape, bro. Because you don't want to lose that shit, bro.
I know.
Out of the Marine Corps, though, I gained like 55 pounds, dog.
Well, I think a lot of my weight was gained on my ending months getting out the Marine Corps, man. When you start stressing,
all that,
like, it sucks. You know, the transition sucks. You know, but it's like you can't put yourself down. You know, I ended up getting kicked out, but I'm like, fuck it, I gotta kick ass now because it's like you kicked me out, and now I gotta. The Marine Corps right now is like that ex that like, all right, hey, like I was over there.
You got a chip on your shoulder.
Yeah, I was up there, you know, like we did good or whatever. Like when I went to my unit's ball like last week, and people were like, "Yo, you look like the guest of honor." I was like, "Yo, that's what I want you to look like. That's what I want to be. You know, I want to feel like that. I want to one day go back and be a guest of honor at a Marine Corps ball because I think there's a lot like behind like." I love it. Like I love like the highly motivated and like everything. Like, you know what I'm saying? But you know, there's definitely needs to be a little bit more emphasis on the people that like go through things like those little speed bumps in the Marine Corps because some of those people are like some of our best Marines, you know?
Yeah.
And that's not to like kiss ass to myself. It's just like from what I've seen, you know, sometimes those guys that are troubled or those girls that are troubled, you know, getting through in the Marine Corps, like just need a couple more pushes, yo, and by the time you know, you're gonna be like, yo, that motherfucker's good at go.
Yeah.
You know, and so that's what I'm gonna do now.
I definitely feel like your heart is like in a good place. You know, I feel like you're a really good person.
Yeah, no, I love the Marine Corps, man. Like,
yeah.
I won't ever call the Marine Corps out of their name. I won't ever say, you know, fuck the Marine Corps, nothing. You know, at the end of the day, it was my choices, you know, and I lived up to the consequences. That's what it is, you know, and that's for anything in life, honestly. And so the Marine Corps did help me out, you know, for anybody that is thinking about it and for anybody who think that barbering is one of the things they want to do, like the Marine Corps and the military in general is something that does help it out.
Yeah,
it does help it out, and like a lot of the benefits that you will receive if you receive an honorable discharge, you know what I'm saying, will help you out to go and use that, you know, and dude, you can be unstoppable.
Yeah, for sure. All right, I think we can wrap it up with that shit.
But I don't know. I forgot we were
fucking
recording. Dude, that shit recorded the whole time,
Yes.
Hey, how long do your fucking interviews